Welcome to the deep dive. We're all about looking past, the big plays and the headlines to see what really makes a pro sports team tick. Today, we're zooming in on the Jacksonville Jaguars, specifically their offensive tackles. It feels like a really crucial year for them in 2025.
Yeah, and you picked a great spot to focus on, the O-line.
Yeah.
It's fundamental, always is. It's the bedrock, really. Everything the offense wants to do, passing, running, it all starts right there. Directly affects the QB, the whole scheme. It's the engine room.
Absolutely. And to help us dig into this, we're looking at a piece from John Shipley over at Yardbarker. It's titled Three Questions on Jaguars Offensive Tackles. And the backdrop here, you can't ignore it. Jags went 4-13 last season, rough year. Now they've got a new head coach, Liam Cohen, trying to steer the ship. So our mission today is to unpack these three specific questions Shipley raises about the tackles. Questions that, well, could really tell the tale for the Jags this year.
Exactly. And looking at these specific battles, like at tackle, it gives you such a clearer window into the strategy of team building in the NFL. It's not just about, the star quarterback or receiver. It's about how all these pieces fit, especially with a new coach coming in.
Right, that's what we're getting into. So let's jump into that first question. It kind of sets the stage for the whole group, doesn't it?
It really does. The most obvious question mark, maybe, is who's starting at right tackle. What makes it surprising, though, is that we're even asking this now. Because, look, for the last 2 years, basically since 2022, Anton Harrison, their 2023 first-rounder, he's had that spot locked down, no real challenge. But the article points out he's going to have to battle for it this year. He's up against Chuma Edoga, a veteran tackle. And Edoga, well, he definitely has the edge when you just look at sheer NFL playing time, that experience.
Okay, so Harrison's still seen as the favorite, probably, to keep the job come September. But just the fact that there is a competition, that feels significant. What's the thinking there from Cohen, bringing in a vet like Edoga? Is it just about performance? Or maybe sending a message? Like about accountability?
That's a great point. I think it speaks volumes about the new coaching approach.
Yeah.
It's probably not just about finding the absolute best player on day one. It signals that, Cohen values competition everywhere. Even for a guy drafted high, Edoga's experience, maybe it's less about him actually winning this starting job and more about pushing Harrison, pushing him to find another gear he hasn't needed before. It's that classic iron sharpening iron idea, right? And having a really competitive camp like that, it just lifts the standard for everyone in that room. That's always a good thing no matter who ultimately starts week one.
Okay, that makes sense. So competition heating up on the right side. What about the left side, the other bookend? The big question there around Walker Little, it's different. It's not who starts, but more like, will he finally take that leap?
Yeah.
He's penciled in as the week one starter at left tackle. It's only the second time in his career that's happened. And importantly, this time he earned it. Remember, the first time was because Cam Robinson got suspended. This is different.
Yeah, Little's an interesting case. Drafted back in 2021. And, when he's been on the field, people have often said he might be the best tackle they have. But the article draws a really important line between being good, which he has been, and becoming truly great. And maybe that lack of consistent locked-in starting time has held him back from reaching that elite level. That's the leap everyone's waiting for. For Little, making that leap, it's the difference between having a solid left tackle and having one who's actually a difference maker, creating advantages.
So the pressure's on, in a good way. He's got the job. Now the expectation is he elevates his play, takes it up a notch, maybe several notches in 2025. What does that look like specifically? Like on game day, what tells you he's made the leap?
Well, when we talk about an O-lineman taking a leap, it's about consistent dominance, really. It means he's winning his one-on-one pass blocks consistently. He's not just handling stunts. He's recognizing and nullifying them smoothly. He is a force in the run game, creating movement. If Little does that week after week, think about the ripple effect. It means maybe you don't need a tight end to chip as much so he can release into a route. Maybe the running back has that split second longer to find the hole. It makes Trevor Lawrence's job easier, gives Liam Cohen more options in the playbook. It just elevates the whole offense. And yeah, finally having that secure starting role, that consistent experience, that could absolutely be the key to unlocking it.
Right, gotcha. Okay, that covers the starters, potentially. Let's hit that third key question from Shipley's piece. It's about depth, which, as you know, is huge. Who is the swing tackle? That backup guy who can jump in on either side. Man, that role is vital over 17 games. Injuries happen, especially on the O-line.
Oh, absolutely critical. And it looks like the Jags have three main guys in the mix for that spot. There's Chuma Edoga, again, the guy competing with Harrison at right tackle. Then there's Fred Johnson, another veteran type, and Cole Van Lanen. Shipley suggests, and it makes sense, that one of the free agent guys, so Edoga or Johnson might have a bit of an inside track. just based on, the team actively bringing them in.
But Van Laan's still in the picture. This is his chance, right? If he
Yeah.
can really show he's reliable, versatile, that he can be the key backup, that secures his roster spot.
Definitely. And connecting this back to the team's overall hopes, you just can't overstate how important that swing tackle is for resilience. An NFL season is a grind. You will have injuries on the offensive line, it's almost guaranteed. Having someone reliable, someone versatile who can step in without a massive drop-off, maybe at left tackle one week, right tackle the next, that can honestly save your season. For a team like the Jags, trying to bounce back from 4-13, that kind of depth, those often unsung guys, they're absolutely crucial. They keep the ship afloat when starters inevitably go down.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. We've really dug into these three core questions for the Jaguars tackles heading into 2025. We looked at that right tackle battle, Harrison versus Adoga, which seems like more than just a competition, maybe a culture setter. We talked about Walker Little on the left side. The high hopes for him to finally make that leap from good to great now that the starting job truly is, and what that could unlock for the whole offense, especially Trevor Lawrence. And then the crucial depth piece. Finding that reliable swing tackle with Adoga, Johnson, and Van Lanen all in the running for a role that could be make or break down the stretch.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how these, seemingly individual position battles really tie into the bigger picture for the Jags this season, especially with Liam Cohen coming in. This isn't just musical chairs filling spots. It's about building the actual foundation, the strength of the entire offense, a solid, deep O-line. That's what makes everything else go. It lets you run your offense, protect your quarterback, execute those new schemes Cohen wants to install. It's the engine.
And that's why we do the deep dive, right? Getting into these specifics, the stuff that maybe doesn't make the highlight reels, it just gives you a much richer understanding of how teams are built and what makes them succeed or fail. It's way more than just the final score. So wrapping up, here's something to think about. How much weight do you put on these three questions? How critical are the answers? Who wins at RT? Does Little level up? Who's the swing tackle? How much will that dictate whether the Jaguars can actually turn that 4-13 record around in 2025?